Welcome back to horror comedy, Shandar Shanivar, Sunrisers. I don't know what kind of team Sunrisers are. Waadaplaya, concussion, sub series. Sorry, we're just talking about the shambles of a performance of Sunrisers' fifth loss in a row. As excited as we were, Adi and I, for five consecutive wins, completely trash performance. Today's intense was absolutely terrible. There is nothing to talk about because the game is totally one-sided, but still we will talk about because we love the game so much. Sanjay Dubey sitting second on the table, Lucknow Super Giants waiting for that playoff win tomorrow, and Adi, welcome back. I don't have nothing to say about today's performance, Adi.
Yeah, I think in the last match show after that, I told season is over because I couldn't see a way back from this. There are too many things which were going wrong with the team. I like I can take a huge list like bullet points, like 10 things wrong with the team. Let me focus on top 5 things. One, Kane Williamson. This is the worst ever batting performance by a batsman in IPL history. Period. Like over a season,
Wow.
because I saw a tweet where they measure batting impact, right? How many runs you score, how many balls you take, what's your impact on the overall match, right? And then you add it up over all matches. Kane Williamson's impact is minus 111. Hmm. So this is across 12 games. If a batsman is struggling, especially an overseas batsman, you don't get more than 5 matches to prove yourself, right? Kane has been struggling. They put him as an opener, fine. After 5, 6 matches, they should have realized and put him in the middle order. Open with Tripathi, whatever, Makram. You have other options. It's not like you don't have any other options. Mayank Agarwal did that. He was struggling. He decided for the team, good thing is Bairstow is in form. It's better served there. Maybe Makram or Tripathi are better served opening the batting. Because today's knock, like whole IPL is a joke with his batting, but today's knock was even a bigger joke. Your target 177, you hit 9 of 17. A Kohli type golden duck would have been better. 0 of 1 would have served SRH better than 9 of 17. So that's scale. Second thing is, I'm really disappointed in the team management, right? Like Tom Moody and coach, persistent with pace bowlers. Pitches are spinning, boss. Like all teams are putting that screw, and you're playing one spinner. Why? You have Shreyas Gopal, you have Suchit, who has done no wrong. He has actually done really well in all the matches he's played. You're playing Shashank Singh, who's like a one-match wonder. I would have okay. You want to play for pace bowlers, play, but remove Shashank, and you should have played Shreyas Gopal or Suchit. Fine, we could have still lost the match, but they're not learning, is what I'm trying to say. Then the third thing, what I'd say is bowling. It got a bit better. Like they were conceding 200 and all. But today as well, the pass score was 160 and all. So the tactics, like last over, Washington Sundar, how and why. You're paying your international quality overseas captain 14 crores. Like leave that money because if you think back, you bought Kane Williamson by not buying Rashid Khan, David Warner, and Bairstow. Hmm. All three of them are doing okay. Bairstow last 2 matches only good, but still it's better than Kane. Look at Rashid and Warner, proven match winners. Warner, he's played 10 matches, he's still in like the top 5 in the list. 45 average, 150 strike rate. So we've हिंदी में ये बोलते त्याग कर दिया वो तीन को to have like Kane Williamson as a number one. And then that's the problem. I'll stop at 3 because the rant is going on further. I'll get back to the other 2 points after we all discuss.
Yeah, I mean, to remind our viewers, the KKR batted first. Their playoff hopes are still alive. 177 they scored in Pune. And then Sunrisers Hyderabad took 18 months to get to 123, not 18 overs. And then we also have, by the way, Prithvi Shaw's manager Shivam Gupta joining in to give us an update about how his health is. So, Shivam, why don't you talk to us about the game today and also what's the status on Prithvi Shaw?
I myself was asking that question: who's going to open with Warner for DC? Is Prithvi all right? Will he be back or not? But yeah, on today's game, I mean, quite disappointing. As I think Aditya covered it right. That last over. See, it's a very. I mean, uh, all things said and done, right? Just to give a benefit of doubt to Kane. We have seen other captains, doing this mistake. I think there was this one match where Pant did the same thing, right? Trying to save Kuldeep's over for the not exactly save, rather protecting Kuldeep from a certain batter and trying to protect him till the last, in the hope that that particular dangerous batsman will get out. Right. In this case, it was Russell, but the problem is he didn't get out. Right. So the thing is that you have to back your if you pay 10 cr for Sundar, and in fact they spent a lot on bowlers, right? So you had to back them to perform the roles that have been assigned to them. And Sundar's role is, probably bowling a couple of overs in the power play, bowling well in the middle overs. His role is not bowling at the death. So if you had to bowl Sundar at the death, probably because you didn't trust him to bowl earlier, or you didn't trust someone else to bowl at the death. So the, 10, 15 runs here and there made a difference. And my only issue is, see, everybody knows that there was an issue between Warner and SRH management, or Moody, right? But just one question. I mean, Warner didn't play well for like few games, and they literally benched him. Williamson has not done anything in the last 12 games apart from winning tosses. They don't even have the guts to change his batting order. So even if there was an issue between Moody and Warner, whatever, but somebody has to put some sense into the management and say, "But don't make it so obvious that it's Moody who's calling the shots or whatever." I mean, at least have the balls to change his batting order if he's done so badly in the last 12 games.
Yeah, and Adi, I think we've all seen Moody is a very smart coach, data-oriented coach, but he definitely is a little bit of an old school. And Vishak, you and I were chatting yesterday on WhatsApp that as much of data we have, as much of matchups we have, presence of mind is important and match awareness is important. And Sunrisers season is summed up about not having season awareness. Forget about match awareness. Adi, is that the fair summary from the
Yeah,
dugout?
like the spinners point and being persistent on having Kane as your opener, right? He's eating up the power play. The challenge was today. Rahul Tripathi had by the time he walked into the to bat, the required run rate was over 10. So it was as good as you're chasing 200 plus, right? Despite the ballers.
And just to add, Addy, just to add, see, because Williamson has wasted the initial 4 overs, so Rahul has even more pressure that I have to make good the last 2 overs of power play.
Exactly, and that's how he was trying. Then he got out. Then the problem is Puran and Makram aren't that great players of spin. You needed Rahul Tripathi there to take apart like Varun Chakravarti or Narayan.
That's a great
Abhishek,
point.
Abhishek took apart Narayan like in the first 2 overs, right? But Varun Chakravarti was able to get through 2 overs, 11 runs. If Rahul Tripathi would have been there, I'm pretty sure Rahul Tripathi would have taken him for like 25, 30 runs or 20 plus runs, and then Varun Chakravarti is a confidence bowler. Then Shreyas Iyer will try someone else. Then you can hit those bowlers. So it's the whole balance has been like upset by Kane Williamson and the spinners part as well. And Sundar, as we were talking, fine, you're bowling to Russell. Boss, let the ball land on the pitch and do something. You bowl 3 full tosses. Right? Russell, if you bowl full toss at 100 kilometers an hour, it will definitely go for a six. Right? So Sundar has been actually the Indian player across all teams. If you see, like leave Rohit and Kohli, he's been the biggest disappointment because a lot of people had like a lot of hopes on him. A lot of people actually tried to bid for him in the auction. He got paid 9 crores or something, 8.59 crores. With the ball, he's been average. With the bat, one innings, and everything else has been like not that good. And he got injured also, like again twice, not once. So he has actually not done his chances any good for like from an India team perspective as well. Now he's like way back in the pecking order. Because if you remember, before the IPL, Sundar was in India's T20 playing 11, let alone in the outside the squad. He was in the play squad and he was playing versus I think England, and then he got injured. Now everything is gone for him from a personal career standpoint. He has to make up a lot of ground.
And
Vishak,
Suman, before you go to Vishak and Sanjay, just one last point. I had caught up on the match initially. Seen the toss as well. When they had put the lineups on TV, SRH had Makram open. So in the lineup that was showed, probably the team that was given to the match officials or whatever, Markram was slotted as an opener.
Has
So it's
been
not that they're not,
last 3 games.
and still Williamson comes out to open. So it's not that they're not discussing it. They are discussing it, but somehow or the other they are resistant to change.
The producer is an SRH fan. That's why every time he advises, "Arey, Makram's
Like
open from
signal,
Markram."
we are giving you a signal. Dekho, Makram is on top. Please send him. And actually, Makram is in good touch, good nick.
He's
If you
great.
send him
He's
in
the
the power
only
play,
player
he
who
could have
can
hit four or
play.
sixes. Yeah.
He's the only player who
Sometimes
can
it's just the first name, just how it's put on the team sheet. It doesn't mean that's a batting order always. So that could
No,
also
but
matter.
I've seen that, I've seen commentators saying that, okay, this is the batting order. I mean, this is the order that the team has suggested. They might not necessarily follow it, of course. But if you're putting the two names at the top, then most likely they're going to open. I mean, of course, they don't have to go by it, but I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. And Vishak, I probably should take a little bit of advice from you because you guys are used to these kind of seasons since 14 years. So how to bear these kind of losses. But having said that, what does this win mean to KKR? Let's talk
No,
about KKR.
where do we get
Doesn't
the
mean
calculator?
I think for the KKR it didn't mean anything because I think more than at least three teams can get to 16 at this point of time. DC, RCB, as well as PBKS. One of DC or PBKS and RCB can get to 16 points. So it would mean that five teams can actually get to 16 points or more at this point of time. And almost people are saying it's a mathematical chance for KKR and stuff, but I still say KKR are out. If you're not getting 16 points in this tournament, you're not going to qualify. So I think KKR are unless because for this to happen, it's like a lot of things have to go your way. You have to win your. I think they have two more games, right? KKR or one game? I'm not sure.
I'm going to bring up the points table. I think that's the way to look at it. So here we are. Gujarat Titans have got two more games to go. They're sitting pretty on 18, so they probably will get to 20, if not 22. Lucknow Super Giants will get to them. Rajasthan Royals have 2 games in hand. RCB have 1 game in hand. DC got 2 games in hand. KKR 1 game. Punjab Sunrisers, CSK, and MI have 2 games each.
So the interesting part about this points table is all the teams are playing independent teams. So what I mean that is, for example, RR, who can still get stuck on 14. RR plays LSG and CSK. So it's kind of like, okay, if LSG wins and CSK wins, RR gets stuck on 14, and their net run rate obviously takes a hit after 2 losses, right? And then RCB play GT, right? So that's a tough match as well. So RCB could still be stuck at 14. I think the team which is plays the best is DC because DC play MI and Punjab. Hmm? So and they have the best run rate out there amongst all these teams which are scrambling. So it's still possible 14 because if LSG and GT continue to win all their matches, then RR is like stuck on 14, RCB is stuck on 14, Punjab Kings and DC matches there. If DC wins that, they can easily, even at 14, they can qualify. DC, not the other teams. Does that make sense?
Interesting.
Yeah, but
So,
that is kind of it is possible, but those are kind of remote possibilities still
Yeah.
because you need
It's
a lot
tough.
of results to go your way.
Yeah,
So when we are saying RCB itself with its net run rate, 16 points is not enough. So it is
Yeah.
like
But
14 points is like absolutely kind of no. You need a lot of things to go your way. So which is
No,
like
Yeah.
at least I
every
think
match you need
DC,
your results to go according to your way. So that is really
correct,
difficult
which
for
is
them.
not the ideal situation. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think for DC, the good thing is now it's in their hands. They have been benefited with RCB and SRH both losing. So I
Yeah.
think if DC can do, pull up 2 matches on the trot, which would be a first this season, then I think they are on their way.
The
Yeah.
DC
DC
versus
is
PPK's game that would be very interesting now because
correct.
if PPK's win that, the last game for PPK's SRH will be a kind of a win and go through for PPK's.
Correct.
संजय आपका ख्याल क्या है? आपने कुछ बताया नहीं आज, कुछ बोला नहीं। आपको क्या लगता है आज का गेम कैसा था?
बहुत एक
Sitting
तो
at number 2, so like he doesn't have to worry too much.
no, so
Dubity is like, hey, I am done, I am through. जो करना है कर लो.
ये जब जो इतना बुरा हार लखनऊ का हुआ on the other day, so I was like calculating, can they still go out on 16? And then I'm seeing RCB lose, SRH lose. So like it's very unlikely that they'll go out even if they are stuck at 16. So I think that sort of shows me. But जो कल का game है राजस्थान LSG, everyone please support LSG because अगर राजस्थान जीतती है, it makes it more difficult for everyone else to qualify because Rajasthan is one team who can lose 2 games very badly and then get kicked out easily. और अपने आप में राजस्थान का fan नहीं है तो doesn't really matter, right? और
RRS Ashwin Dubiji. Ashwin will not let that happen. Yeah, Suman.
No comments.
No, and the other thing which
Ashwin
is
will
really
sit and deliver.
disappointed about I think SRH. I personally think it's not just Kane's batting. I think it is his captaincy as well. I think this season he's shown that he's super overrated as a captain. I can count so many mistakes he's done. So obviously those 5 games in a row was much flattering than what the team was potentially. But वो last over Jansen से करा है, उसी से जो गुजरात टाइटंस के अगेंस्ट था, that game they should have easily closed out. Jansen already 30-35 रन दे चुका था 3 ओवर में, तो उससे करवाया बेचारे से. Yes, he got hit for a lot of runs, but उसके बाद पूरा स्लाइड ही हो रहा है. और आज भी at the 16th over I was telling कि ये एक सुंदर का बचा के रखा है. एक तो स्पिनर को खिला नहीं रहे लोग, पता नहीं 4 फास्ट बॉलर, कोई टीम इतना 4 फास्ट बॉलर नहीं खिला रहा है. पिचेस आर गेटिंग स्लोअर और पुणे तो 100% आंख बंद करके आप 2-3 स्पिनर खिला लो. पार्ट टाइमर है भी आपके पास, अभिषेक शर्मा है, उसके बाद एडन मार्करम है, दोनों डिसेंट है. ऊपर से वॉशिंगटन सुंदर उसको पावर प्ले में भी नहीं करवा रहे, उसको क्या डेथ बॉलर बोल के लिया हुआ है. मतलब कितना बेकार टैक्टिक्स है कि पूछो ही मत. वॉशिंगटन सुंदर से ही ओपन करवा लेते इससे अच्छा. और एक तो ओपनिंग करने के बाद पानी फेस कर रहा है तुम लोग. 5 ओवर में 2 ओवर पूरा खुद ही खा गए. क्या कोई बैटिंग करेगा इसमें?
And Dubeji, Aiden Markram is a designated all-rounder. If you look at his score across national franchisee cricket in the last 6 months, he gives you 2 overs every match.
या तो खुद ही कर लेता.
और अभिषेक शर्मा भी बॉलिंग करता है, उसको एक ही मैच में अभी तक यूटिलाइज किया है.
हाँ, वो जबरदस्ती करना पड़ा क्योंकि वॉशिंगटन सुंदर इंजर्ड हो गया. सो आई थिंक दिस सीजन वो मतलब इनके नाम अब चढ़ा सकते हैं केन विलियमसन के नाम की. मतलब मेरे ख्याल से इवन इफ दे वांट टू हैव हिम एज अ कैप्टन, उनको ड्रॉप रिलीज करो इस साल, 4-5 करोड़ में नेक्स्ट ईयर ले लो और कोई 1-2 अच्छा प्लेयर लो. ये 14 करोड़ के लायक नहीं है. मतलब कोई इसको खरीदने नहीं वाला भाई को. राशिद खान को
David Warner likes this.
Yes. with this form, 4-5 crore में, like I was being charitable. I put a tweet that 4 to 8 crores में मिल जाएगा तुमको Kane Williamson. Even if you get it for 8, you are saving 6 crores. You can put on other players.
Yes.
And there are a bunch of comments.
They know they have lost Rashid Khan. They did not go for either Yuzvendra Chahal or Rahul Chahar or any leg spinner.
Yeah.
Like I was pretty surprised in the auction at that point because you've lost a premier leg spinner. I know you cannot replace Rashid Khan, but still you should have gone for a good leg spinner to actually, because all the teams, even Mumbai Indians, even if they have a leg spinner, even though they are not that good actually, they have got 2 leg spinners. Every team almost has a leg spinner. I know you guys have Shreyas Gopal, but actually if you see his domestic form recently, it's actually on the decline.
It's pretty bad. But
he's not performing at that level as well.
No, my problem is Shreyas Gopal, even if he's not in form, give him like 2-3 matches in a row. Nah? Like try. Like they're chopping and changing, not giving matches. One thing, let's do this. Like there are a bunch of comments. Let's try to address them, right? So the funnier comment is it's the same old Kacha Nimbu team of last year. In those 5-match streak, it didn't feel that. Yeah. But in those 5-match streak, a lot of things were going right. The ball was swinging and Marco Jansen was kind of unplayable, right? When the ball was swinging, all matches, Kane won the toss, like at least something he did, right, with his luck. So it was a template, like you were restricting opposition for 150, 160, you were chasing it easily.
I still feel we have the team, but the tactics is where we are going wrong.
Tactics is missing.
Exactly.
And you are very...
the thing is, when you started going wrong, right? You know Kane Williamson is out of form. He should have dropped to the middle. I think we spoke about it previously also in some of the SRH matches. He should have dropped down the order, get Tripathi to open, because Tripathi has been playing at his best in his previous franchises, Pune and KKR, when he has opened.
Yep.
So they should have got him to open And Abhishek Sharma would make a very good pair because they would complement each other well. Now, what is happening is Kane Williamson eating up a lot of balls is actually putting pressure on Abhishek Sharma at the other end. You don't want that. At least you want somebody to rotate at the other end. Kane Williamson is not even able to do that at this point of time. 9 of
Yeah.
17 today. In another match, previous match, it was 4 of 11. And in 4 of 11, there was a boundary also in that. So, like, that is inexplicable, kind of.
10 dot balls. And I think I saw a tweet which said Kane has played like a 60 plus dot balls in the power play this year, highest obviously of any opener. We have to see all time records also. Maybe he'll break them too. So
he's prepping for the test series.
the
So, I mean,
championship.
I was about to say that he's prepping for the next WTC.
and I think after last year, जो Warner के साथ हुआ ना, I was amazed to see any franchise have a foreign captain. Because problem here, you cannot drop them. Suman was
Yeah.
telling me that he would have still played all the games if he wasn't the captain. I think after 3 games, you're done. Get someone
Yeah.
else.
Maximum 4-5 games. After if you're
Even
an overseas player, even Mumbai, like Pollard has been like serving them for 10 plus years. Even they also dropped him. So if you're an overseas
even
player,
Morgan for that matter. See, KKR reached finals last year. Morgan, I mean, we captained pretty well, right? They didn't even bid him for this season. Just
So
one
those
question
behind
before.
Regardless,
Yeah,
Just to add
yeah.
to this point, one
Correct,
point which
correct,
Arsenal
correct,
have
correct.
to-
Warner will come at
because of
end.
both
Like,
games
he
in
was,
the-
Warner was smart because he knew he was out of form. He used to come at number 6 or number 7. End may like 3-4 overs will be left. He'll get out 1 or 2 or like 8 or 5 or something. He'll get out. So he was at least smart enough to drop himself. So Kane is, I don't know, man. Like Kane is very persistent that I have to open. So
No, that was this
So
one
before you
question.
take this forward, Suman,
Kane
yeah,
Williamson form or not, right? Like, I
Hmm.
don't think it's because of his lack of form which KKR are losing. It's because of his lack of tactical acumen and the captaincy tactics. I think it's not his lack of form. Yeah, it is actually affecting the team, but more, I would say, more attributed more to his captaincy. His captaincy has been really poor this series.
yeah, like Marco Janssen, Gujarat Titans last over, and I think in another match he gave Umran Malik.
In couple of
Yeah,
games,
yeah,
he did
DC.
it in couple of games.
DC.
One game
In the
it somehow
DC
worked
match.
out. The
Yes.
other game he got blasted.
Romario Powell hit him for like what 20 plus something runs, and that was the difference. Like, actually, SRH lost that match by 15 runs or something, right? And that over, for better or for worse, is like this. I've never seen as many screenshots of a specific over than that, because Umran bowled 154, 156, 157, but all of them were going for fours and sixes. That is a different problem. But yeah, today at least, like looking on the brighter side, Umran bowled really well. To give him credit after four matches.
2 over में 3 wicket लिए. Give him a couple of, bowl him out. He might
Yes.
get another 2-3 wickets. Russell सबको खत्म कर देता. What's the point of taking him off? Getting
In
someone
India.
else to bowl.
if you remember, Suman, I was making this point a few shows before. I was making this point. Bowl Umran Malik in the middle. Don't give him the new ball. Don't bowl him at the death. He's your enforcer in the middle. He'll give you 2-3 wickets, because at that time people are looking for singles and doubles. Spinners generally bowl at that time. And when somebody comes and bowls 155 with an older ball, every batsman feels uncomfortable. I mean, so that was the perfect time for him to bowl. But just one question to all of you before we proceed. See, we all know SRH has always packed their side with fast bowlers, and this has been the template since long. I mean, leaving aside Rashid Khan, but the 2016 season when they won, who was the spinner for them? I mean, at that time also, right?
Vipul
Was
Sharma.
there a couple of spinners?
Vipul Sharma.
Vipul Sharma.
50. And
Okay,
Rashid
okay,
Khan.
okay.
Rashid Khan on this
But
side.
Rashid Khan came later, right?
Rashid
After
Khan was
2016.
there in 2017.
Yeah, Vipul Sharma.
So in 2016, their main spinner was Vipul Sharma.
Yep.
No, one more
In
tactic
20
which I think which Kane Williamson missed today. 2 overs, he's got 3 wickets. Kane Williamson has just come in. Get Umran Malik on for the third over, rattle him with pace. Instead, he allowed him to settle down, because we all know that at good pace, if short balls something is bowled at Russell, he actually struggles. Actually, Bumrah did the same thing to him in the last game as well. So that, I think Kane Williamson clearly missed a trick there. Had he got Kane Williamson at that point of time out, I think they would have folded for around 140 instead of scoring around 170 there.
और सक्सेस के बारे में कुछ पूछना तो या तो शिवम या तो विशाख से पूछो. विशाख के टी शर्ट पे सक्सेस है और शिवम के ऊपर सक्सेस लिखा हुआ है. शिवम थोड़ा कैमरा ऊपर.
But on a brighter note, though, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar is a big positive for India. Outstanding bowling. I mean, not just today, throughout the last 4 5 games. Today, he troubled Russell quite a lot with those Yorkers and improved quite a bit of death bowling.
No, Russell, even after the innings, he was saying that, man, I was feeling, I forgot the right word he used. He said he was feeling helpless, or there was a word he used where he said they were nailing Yorkers after Yorkers after Yorkers. So Natarajan and Bhuneshwar Kumar, both of them bowled really, really well. Natarajan gave what 18 runs in his first over. It was a bad over. Then he came back 3 overs 25, and all those three were at the death, right? And Bhuneshwar, that is one of the best overs I've seen in this IPL. Like against
In
Russell,
fact, I made that comment on in a group, right? That there was an exhibition of Yorkers. It was just that they bowled four full tosses and four of them went for six, and that made a difference of 20-25 runs. But at one point, they were bowling absolutely brilliantly, Yorker after Yorker after Yorker. No fancy slow balls, off cutters, bouncer, nothing. Just Yorker after Yorker.
Yeah, and
Quite useless that SRH becomes the first team to lose 5 matches consecutively after
Six.
winning 5 in
Six.
IPL.
6 now.
no,
Yeah.
five.
5 is it?
Five.
Javi.
It can be 7 soon, given how the team morale and this is, because next we play, I think, Mumbai Indians. Mumbai has a point to prove, and then we play Punjab Kings. If we lose against Mumbai, then we are anyways out, like technically out.
At this
We are
point,
technically out.
release them out of IPL. End the agony. I'm done. Like today was painful.
See, I think with the form that Bairstow is in the last two matches, and the fact that he's at the top opening, PBKS might be the dark horse this time. I mean, it's a
and and
dangerous team.
and to top it, Bairstow also has a rage similar to Warner, and we are going to play him soon. So good luck, SR.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So like the two Rashid hated that last over, and Warner was the man of the match versus SRH. Now Bairstow has a point to prove as well, right? He also wants a match in performance or man of the match, and he's opening now. So you never know what he will hit. He's used to playing your Bhuvi and everyone else in the nets last year. So
Yeah.
chalo.
And Shivam, you have the answer to the question. Vipul Sharma was there, but UV and Huda used to fill up the spinners.
Yeah.
By Andy.
Before
Yep,
played, I think,
yep.
six matches or so. But in that season, like thinking back, Mustafizur Rahman was there. That was the wild card SRH had, because he was not a proven bowler back then. And they bought him and backed him. And in the overs, Bhuvi and Mustafizur would bowl at the death and like choke, hold like other teams. So
Or Ben
And
Cutting.
I think
he
Siddharth Kaul was also
fantastic
the
after
breakthrough
Russell
season.
also.
no, Siddharth Kaul came in next season. So
Okay,
Siddharth Kaul-
2018
yeah, 2017 or
when
something.
they reached finals. Hmm.
Yeah, 2018. So this is the bowling stats. I was pulling them up. So these were the bowlers. Kane Williamson actually played 6 matches in that, but it was Mustafizur Rahman. Bhuvi, I think, got purple cap, I think, that season, 23, or was close. And then Nehra was there. He got injured, I think. And then I thought season was done. But Barinder Shran was also very good. 14 matches, 14 wickets. And as we said, like Vipul Sharma was there. Yeah, we played like a bunch of. But this team was pretty good.
उतना ही याद रखना चाहिए Ben Cutting नहीं पूरा game change.
Exactly. And this team was pretty good if you think about it. Warner, Dhawan, Yuvraj, Morgan, Kane Williamson, even if they didn't play all matches, but the squad and all was pretty good. Yeah. Now it will be a memory. I don't know when they'll win again. So
All right, good stuff. And Vishak, any last words on RCB before we switch off the horror show for today and comedy show for today?
RCB, I think we have already given up because we have the worst run rate. Because and PBK is playing the last game, it would be extremely difficult. Only hope is RR to lose both the games, and we have to win against GT. That is the easiest way to go through at this point of time. Otherwise, I would say it was a really pathetic show yesterday. After that show, I don't think we deserve to go in.
In fact, what I would say is कि RCB को सिर्फ गुजरात वाले गेम में फोकस करना चाहिए.
Yes.
I think that net run rate would be taken care of. It's not. I think it'd be extremely unlikely that 3 or 4 teams will end up in 16. तो कोई ना
16.
कोई तो एक गेम उनके फेवर में चला जाएगा, but they have to win against Gujarat and probably thrash them as well, which will be good.
Yeah. And tomorrow you should cheer for LSG, of course, right?
Yes.
Vishak?
We are cheering for LSG and CSK. First, second time this season, we are going to cheer for CSK.
Hopefully they don't disappoint this time. Versus the other match, I think they disappointed, right? So.
But I must say कि अब जो last 15 दिन से जो IPL हो रहा है, भाई इतना boring.
No, I think they didn't disappoint.
एक महीने से 3 वीकेंड से कोई मैच में मजा नहीं आ रहा है हमको. 3 वीकेंड हो चुका है.
काफी मतलब it's very disappointing because
lot of matches
लग रहा था कि अच्छा होने वाला है, but it's just fizzing out to be extremely dull games.
I think the challenge is a lot of matches are becoming one-sided. You don't have like this nail biter last over, like last 2 overs or something, right? Every match over the past 1.5 week at least, from what I remember, are like lose by 50 runs, lose by 60 runs.
I think only GT matches were last over finishes. I don't remember any of the team, any other matches going to
Mumbai
last
CSK.
over.
Mumbai CSK.
Yeah, the Dhoni one, correct.
No. So I was looking at the stats. So this match 54, RCB Punjab also RCB lost by 54. Then Mumbai 5 over remaining chase, Delhi 2 over remaining chase, 62 runs, 52 runs, 91 runs.
And, GT won by 40 runs against LSG.
Yeah. And I think Mumbai 2 games went Mumbai CSK and Mumbai GT.
Yeah.
Into the last over, I guess.
That's what. So matches have been one-sided. So that also obviously you're like after 25 or 30 overs in a match, like, hey, this match is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And Suman, your wait for super over still remains.
Yeah, dude, like no super over this season.
That's ridiculous. That's what's going to bring the spark back, right? Anyway, teams are not doing well. Anyway, there are no close matches, but at least bring super overs to bring the fizz back into IPL.
I hope it's not on a dead rubber game. मतलब कोई ऐसे फालतू मैच में ना हो, कोई ऐसे जिसमें थोड़ा की इंटरेस्ट बना रहे उसमें होना चाहिए.
Yeah.
Okay, one question for you all.
What should SRH do? SRH should just sit back and relook at the tactics. I don't think the squad is a problem. We just need to make a little bit of tweaks in terms of how we put the batting order, where we use what kind of spinners, and probably look to buy a spinner, a quality spinner, to fill the gap of Rashid. I think that's what I can think of. But right now, they just have to get their act together.
I have an out of the box suggestion. One is release Williamson, try to get him back, but make someone else the captain.
But can they do that? Can they release Williamson right now?
Yeah, no, not now. Like in the
after the season.
After the season.
They have 14 crores, then obviously release someone else as well. मेरे को लगता है जो हिसाब से Washington चल रहा है.
I'll tell you 5 players whom they can release. They get 40 crores. Like Romario Shepherd bench pay is sitting for 8 crores. Puran also 10 crores worth is not performing.
नहीं रखो Puran को. He's the only saving grace Adi this season.
No, so with Puran my problem is he will score runs, but the match will be lost.
Yeah, I agree. Match खत्म होने के
He used to do this for Punjab also.
20 बॉल में 20 रन बनाएगा, फिर 10 बॉल में
पंजाब के लिए मारता ही नहीं था.
नहीं, Vishak, there were 2 matches I remember when 150 runs required of 7 overs and he'll score 70 runs. And everybody knew Puran, but everybody knew कि खाली वो NRR booster match है. But just one thing, see, SRH does not have any strong Indian player. Like even if you see RCB, they have Dinesh Karthik, right? CSK has Jadeja. I'm saying Indian player apart from captain. There's Rahul and Krunal Pandya in Lucknow. So they don't, in the current squad, who can be your captain? I mean, you might end up making Puran your captain, considering he's an international captain or whatever. I don't see any other player in the current squad.
Bhuvi को बना सकते.
Bhuvi can be the captain.
Yeah, Bhuvi can be captain or take a left field call and make Abhishek Sharma captain. Like youth pe invest kar do. Like how Rajasthan Royals did with Sanju when he was nowhere near the Indian team. They made him captain. Now Sanju is not doing bad. Like he's doing a decent job. I'm not saying he's doing super amazing job, but he's doing a decent job. So
पार्टी को बना दो. अब्दुल समाद को बेचारे को खिलाओ फिर से यार. इससे तो better है.
I think good point about Bhuvi was I saw him diving around. That was a good point for India. I mean, he keeps getting injured, but I think now he's back to being fully fit and strong case for the World Cup.
Correct. Let's see. how it goes, but very disappointing season
We
for
should
all
look
this.
forward to the next Super Sunday. Super Sunday, we have LSG versus
RR,
RR, which we
We have
will.
DC match tomorrow.
We have two matches: Chennai versus Gujarat Titans, which is effectively a dead rubber because I think
it's like random
Gujarat
match.
will Gujarat will end up top two one way or the other. Doesn't really
Yeah.
matter. I think very unlikely that they will end up three. It's possible if
RR win both
RR win
matches.
both and Lucknow win one more, and then the net run rate comes into
Net run rate, yeah.
that's still possible, but I think they're pretty much safe. CSK, I think they would want to go on a high because they anyways have lost the game. So I'll come to Vishak. What are you expecting? GT versus CSK. ऐसे कुछ ज़्यादा है नहीं बात करने के लिए, but would be good to keep GT down. I think so that RCB can take them on the bounce and beat them again, right?
Yeah, that would be good because just make them lose the momentum. I think out of the last three games, they've just won one, right? They've lost two on the bones and then they won one. So, like, make them lose again. So, it's like they don't go into that momentum kind of, and then just shatter their confidence a little bit and just go and beat them. Yeah, and hope for the best. Like, hope the other results go our way. So, that's the only thing we can do at this moment. Just pray and watch. But we still have to do what we have to do, which is beat JT.
And Shivam, LSG versus Rajasthan Royals. I'm sure you're also supporting LSG. Who do you think has the upper hand? You're on
Absolutely. Gotham is there. Ex DC is there. So definitely, yeah. I mean, LSG supporting LSG big way. And I feel, LSG just, I mentioned that point on the group as well. They need their middle order to come good, right? I've repeated this point a number of times, right? You can't be over dependent on Rahul. I mean, and I think that loss against GT came at the right time. Otherwise, in the qualifier or eliminator, whatever, it would have hit them bad. But I think your Huda and all have to come good now. Huda has to cross 30-40. He scores 30 and gets out.
Okay, there are a lot of SRH supporters, Andy and Daniro, and crew. Understandable, you guys have a lot of frustration pent up, so which is totally fine. That's
I
exactly
missed their comments. You want to put them again? I missed their comments.
no. यार,
Liz.
ये channel बंद
No,
करवाए.
no, they were memes floating around after SRH won those 5 matches that Kavya Maran bought like these 4 pace bowlers for 15 crores and we left Rashid. If you remember, like Umran is 4 crores, Nattu, Bhuvrajan, Bhuvia also 4 crores, and who's the other guy? Marco is also 4 crores or something. So all these combined are like 15 crores, and Rashid is 16 crores, but SRH is like topping the table. It feels like very different world now. Had they won that GT game, SRH would have been topping the table, 6-2. Right now it is
That's a
5-7.
very crucial point. Absolutely, I agree. That game, I
But
think, is
just a question, Duviji. I mean, to everyone. Of course, see, everybody wants to be in the top half of the table. But what would you prefer? I mean, win, lose, like something what DC has done, or something what SRS has done. Won five back to back, then lost five back to back. I mean, it's both are bad.
I would prefer to qualify for the playoffs. I don't care how it is.
I would
Even if
How
you
it is.
qualify,
I would prefer to be consistent. You will not cannot
Hmm.
win 14 games on the trot. You cannot. So it's like be consistent. One or two losses will come your way. So you have to be remain consistent. Don't lose bad when you lose, and try to like perform consistently. So it like performances will take care of it. So when you perform consistently, you win more matches than you lose. So that is the best thing to do.
CSK जैसा होना चाहिए. जीतो तो सीजन ही जीतो, हारो तो मतलब एकदम बॉटम में रहे.
exactly.
Tension ही नहीं.
It doesn't
No,
matter.
CSK नहीं मुंबई एक्चुअली CSK भी जब
Both.
क्वालिफाई करता है जीतता नहीं है मुंबई क्वालिफाई करता है तो जीतता है
Exactly.
Hmm.
Mumbai is
But
like
I think just one thing on these teams. I mean, see, it's been a bad season for even DC. I mean, pretty bad season after two very successful seasons. But the only thing that I like about DC, I mean, apart from that one CSK match, they have come hard at every chase, right? Irrespective of how many wickets they have lost, whatever. If it's power play, they go bang bang. If it's a 200 plus chase, they'll go bang bang, right? There's no point, protecting your run. I mean, you're not even protecting your run rate, but even today, just to come back on the match, I think that Shashank is a decent hitter, right? He has shown it in the couple of matches, and I forgot who was batting. Sundar, right? In that first match, he scored what in 10, 15 ball 40. So at least show some intent. You get out, you get out. Yeah, as it is, you're losing the match, but
They
show
did
some
show it.
intent. That's it.
Shubham, they did show it in. They scored 1 run in 16th over.
Yes. This match, both intent
That
is
was
gone.
crazy.
Shashank Singh is like one match wonder. In that one match, he scored Lockie Ferguson against 25 runs or like 3 sixes. After that, he hasn't performed only. Like every match. Today also 11 of 11 when he came required run rate was 13. I'm like, अरे ये लोग single क्यों ले रहे हैं? ये लोग dot ball क्यों कर रहे हैं? 16th over में they're like playing defense. 1 run required run rate is 16 point something. I'm like, what is happening? So no intent.
And just one last thing, Aditya, Suman, what about Priyam Garg? I mean, he's still there. Case in point to trial.
Samad, Priyam Garg, play all of them now. Season is anyways gone.
Yeah.
So I would say like remove your what's his name, Shashank Singh. I would also go ahead and say Kane, rest le lo, sit down. You'll get 14 crores. Don't worry. Sit down. Like relax. Let Abhishek Sharma or Bhuvi captain play Glenn Phillips. He's been like SRH Instagram story में every day Glenn Phillips का practice दिखाते. I'm like okay maybe Kane like whatever Glenn Phillips को खिलाएंगे opening कराएंगे is not a single match. So
Same producer है उसका भी.
Exactly. So so play other people and Karthik Tyagi. I think he would walk into most teams as a fast bowler. More than half of the teams. SRH bench पे बिठा रहा है बेचारा. Like so yeah.
Okay, cool. So enough of Sunrisers Hyderabad. Just erase them off from this season. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all the engagement. Click on that like button and let's get back to some winning mode. RCB, hopefully you guys don't disappoint this season again. We have a lot of hopes. Now my next team is RCB. So
The only South Indian team left in the IPL running. Like both other South Indian teams are gone.
Mathematically, it's still possible. It's not completely out of the. See, RR can lose both games.
Yeah.
RCB.
I feel out of place here, being the only DC supporter.
DC because they still have their own destiny in their own.
Shivam, you are another
Yeah.
Kolol Modi. We don't know which team you support.
हम IPL की तरफ से हैं.
see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Bye, guys.